G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Flashlight Crazy. Today I am reviewing the Nextorch TA30C Max and the V51 Quick Draw Holster. Let's check them out. So the box of the TA30C Max has a picture of the torch on it. You will see the max output here, which is 3000 lumens. It does specify that it has a 1-step to strobe, and it'll just have some specs here, which we will go over. I like the pictures that Nextorch have on the back as well. Talk about the rotary system, the nano ceramic window breakers, and the 4-stage battery capacity indicator. Now inside the box, you will get not only the torch and the battery, but you will get your Nextorch user manual. You will get your USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and that will go into the battery there. And it comes with a Nextorch lanyard. To be honest, the material is quite nice. I'm not a massive fan of lanyards, as you guys know, but as far as lanyards go, this is okay. It seems strong. Seems like it'll do the job. Now, Nextorch did send me this light, guys, so that is full disclosure. They sent this to me, but I will still be doing a non-biased review and telling you all exactly what I think of this light. I am actually a fan of Nextorch lights. I like tactical style lights, and when I reviewed the TA30C, I was very, very, very impressed with it as far as a tactical light goes. It just kind of ticked all my boxes, but let's see how the TA30C Max goes. So before I put the battery in, I'll just show you the spring on the tail cap here, and then down there you should see the spring as well. So double-ended springs, which is really, really nice to see. Should be a necessity in tactical lights. So in the hand, with the battery in it, it does feel okay. For me, the Nextorch TA30C Max is already proving to be a little bit big. For my purposes, I don't like a very big light, and the TA30C Max, because of it, the 21700, but also because it's quite a chunky light, it is quite big, and for me that's not ideal. I'd much prefer something the size of the TA30C without the Max. So that first impressions, it is quite a chunky light, but as far as the make and feel of it, it does feel very, very sturdy and strong. Start off at the head here, guys. You can see the glass breaking nano ceramic beads there. You've got 3 of them. The bezel does seem to be a different material. I would say it's some form of steel, which is very impressive to see. Now, if we look down into the, I won't say orange peel, but textured reflector. Now, down there, guys, is the Cree XHP 50D-high LED. That's what you're seeing there. So that's a nice LED, putting out a lot of light. Now, if we just move on to the head, feels very, very smooth, yet not slippery. It's got these nice little raised edges all the way around, which give it some nice character. If we move on to the body and the pocket clip could be sturdier. I've felt sturdier pocket clips. This is, you know, it's going to do the job, but I've felt sturdier pocket clips. It would be nice to see that just a little bit more sturdy, especially, you know, a heavy light, tactical use. You know, I'm guessing you're going to be running around with it attached to your belt or something. You know, you want a pocket clip a bit more sturdy than that, in my opinion. Now, the body feels amazing. Very, very, very nice, grippy material here. Machined very, very well. No loose edges, no sharp edges, anything like that. Definitely feels tight in the hands, whether you had gloves or not, whether it was wet or not. In fact, this material feels like that if it was wet, it would actually be more adhesive and less slippery, which is cool. Now, if we move on to the tail cap, this tail cap impresses me a lot. Not only does it have the rotary system, which I'm a massive fan of, but it also has the raised edges here to give the clicky protection, as well as offering tail stand, as well as offering lanyard holes. So that kind of three-pronged approach to the tail cap itself is very, very impressive, and I really like to see that. So well done, Nextorch, for that. From head to tail, I've got 14.5 centimeters, and then from head to tail clicky, I've got 15 centimeters. The face comes in for me at 3.9 centimeters. The body tapers right into 2.5 centimeters. And the tail cap from end to end of the raised edges is 2.5 centimeters as well. And the tail clicky comes in at 1.5 centimeters, which is a nice size tail clicky. I mean, you're not going to miss it anyway, but it's a nice size tail clicky. It's actually really nice in the hand with the thumb. You're always going to kind of land on that tail clicky because you've got the two raised edges and your thumb just kind of like falls in there, and that's perfect. So that's really nice to see. Now, as I said, this is a heavy light, so I'm guessing it's going to be rather heavy. This has the battery in it as well. So TA30C Max comes in at, 229.17 grams. Not the heaviest light, for a 21700, but it is chunky, it is heavy. Now, just to throw in a comparison, that's the Nextorch TA30C, and that's the TA30C Max here. So noticeable difference. I'm not going to compare too much today because I am going to do a comparison video on these two, but that's just the size difference there. Now, if I throw something else in the mix, so this here is the Nightcore MH12S, and this holds a 21700. And look at the size difference. 21700 here, 21700 here, both marketed as tactical lights, and this massive, massive difference in size. Now, I will give it to Nextorch that the feel of this light feels a lot more robust than the Nightcore. The Nightcore honestly feels like it uses cheaper materials than the Nextorch. The Nextorch, you just, honestly guys, if you pick up yourself a Nextorch, you will feel why they are quality lights. You can feel that this is made to last. It is very robust, very built to last. And you can see why they are marketed as tactical lights, because I honestly feel like I could throw this at a brick wall and then run over it with my car and then pick it up and still use it just fine. So it is a very, very tough light, and you can just feel that when you touch it. Now, the UI of the Nextorch TA30C Max is as follows. When you have the rotary switch in TAC, the only outputs you can get are a half press for turbo and a full press for strobe. Okay. Now, as it said on the box, turbo is 3000 lumens and strobe is also 3000 lumens. So I really like this two-stage switch that Nextorch uses. When I press down on the tail cap, it's not hard to only momentary the turbo mode. I'm not going to accidentally fall into strobe. You have to very much intentionally push that button all the way down to access strobe. So momentary turbo kind of hits this platform when you push it down and that's where I stop. So it's very, very good like that. And then to push all the way down, you get strobe, but you have to really, really give it a good push. Now, the rotary switch, you can just move it with your thumb and your pointer finger very, very easily. So from off, rotary switch goes to level 1 first, and that's low. That's 70 lumens. That'll run for 35 hours. It'll reach about 60 meters and is pushed out by 900 candela. If we rotate one more, you get to medium, which is 520 lumens. That is 5 hours you'll get, and that will reach 160 lumens, and that is pushed out by 6,400 candela. And then high is the same as turbo, so it is 3,000 lumens right there. You'll get that for 2 hours and 45 minutes. It'll reach 390 meters and is pushed out by 38,025 candela. And then if I go again, it'll get to strobe, constant on. So the rotary switch is used for constant ons, and the tactical switch is used for momentary. Now, another really cool thing about this light is you can have it in low mode or medium mode, and you're looking around, and then if you want an instant burst of turbo, you just press the tail clicky, and then when you let go, it goes straight back into what you were doing, into your last output. It goes straight back into your last saved output. So if you, for example, are, clearing a house, or you're leaving a house and you don't want to attract too much attention, so you're using low, and you walking around, and then you need to see something, or you need to blind someone, bang, you've got that. And then once that threat has been taken care of, or you've got away, you can let it go again, and it just goes straight back into low. I really, really like that. Same applications with like a bouncer or security guard. You're checking IDs here, checking. There's a little bit of a ruckus. Oi, what's going on over there? Okay, all good. Let go. Back to checking IDs. So I really like, and then off. So I really like that that application that you can use. Nextorch really impressed me with this rotary system. And then the always accessible constant momentary turbo or momentary strobe, even whilst in any of the outputs. Very, very impressive in my opinion. Now, this light is also rated at 2 meters impact resistance, and it is IPX8 rated for submersibility, so that's 2 meters underwater. Very, very good. Now, the TA30C Max, just like the TA30C, has a really cool battery level indicator. So if you just look at the top here, when I turn it on and off, it'll see that went constant blue. So constant blue means in between 75 and 100% of battery. Now, if I did that, and it flashed blue only, that would mean between 50 and 75% battery. And then if I did that and that again, and it went to red, it would be between 25 and 50% battery. And then one more time, if that flashed red, that would mean between 0 and 25% battery. So get yourself a new battery soon. Nextorch does not use proprietary systems, so you can put different cells in this light, which is, again, a big plus for me. Now, there is no lockout mode except for the twisting of the tail cap. But in my opinion, you don't actually need a lockout mode in a light like this, because it, again, with these raised edges here, you are not going to accidentally hit the tail clicky, and it's actually not that easy to turn this rotary switch, so it's not just going to turn on in your pocket or on your belt. So for that reason, if you're holding this in your pocket or belt, you don't need a lockout system. If you're traveling with it in your bag, just give the tail cap a turn, and then it's not going to turn on at all. Now, if we just have a look at the beam profile here, guys, that is on the 3000 lumen high. So you've got your tight hotspot. You've got a bit of a weird spill there, but that is because of the raised edges here on the bezel with the glass breaking beads. That's why you're getting that kind of weird indents there on the spill. I don't mind it. In the night shots, the spill was still very, very usable, so not a problem at all. Very nicely tight hotspot. Further I move away, hotspot stays tight. A lot of candela. So really, really good for a tactical light. And on constant high, the light actually doesn't get too hot. So whatever material this is made of, it absorbs heat very, very well. And I'm just a big fan of Nextorch and a big fan of their tactical lights. Once I reviewed the TA30C, I did a deep dive into what Nextorch has to offer, and they've got some really brilliant lights. So I definitely encourage people to get out there and have a look at them. All right, guys, let's head out for some night shots, and I will be back with my final thoughts on the Nextorch TA30C Max. See you in a sec. All right, guys, out here with the Nextorch TA30C Max, and that is on low. Pretty cool low. Great tactical low. You know, if you're in a house, probably could be a bit less actually. If you're, you know, in a house, clearing a house, or even if you're already, you know, in your home and someone's kind of come in, you want a bit lower than that so you can see around but not give away your position. Very usable for outside, but indoors, I'd probably want something a bit less. Let's move up. Oh, wow. It's a bit of a jump, isn't it? Nice. That big bush there is probably about 10 meters away. That little tree there is probably 12 to 15. That there's definitely 20 plus. Stepping up. Nice. Okay. Let's check out the, yep. So it's got those little indents, same as the TA30C. The TA30C Max also has those indents in the spill area. Very impressive turbo. That's turbo, I think. Yep, because that's strobe. Get rid of that. Turbo. Very, very nice. Lights up a nice area with a good centralized hotspot. Decent amount of spill. Tree here, no dramas. Across the field. Yeah, lights the tree up. Doesn't make it very specific what you can see in there, but definitely lights the tree up. But I'd be using this indoors if I was using this for tactical. Not so much outdoors. Still great throw on it. Nice intense hotspot. Look at that. All right, guys, back to the lab. All right, so very, very bright. Has a lot of candela, even with the kind of textured reflector here. You still are getting a whole lot of candela, a whole lot of light. This would make for a very good tactical light if you didn't mind the size. That's the only thing about this light that bothers me a little bit, is that it's the size and the weight of it. You know, for people who are using this in a proper tactical situation, it might be great for them because, you know, a heavy torch is better. But, you know, if you're using this as well as a weapon, it might be a little bit difficult just to maintain the weight of it. But then again, I haven't been in a situation like that, so I don't know. Please correct me if anybody has been in a situation like that. And, you know, tell me, would you prefer something this weight, or would you prefer something the weight of the TA30C? Which I will do a comparison video on. Now, just before I go, we're going to look at this holster. So this is a very, very whiz-bang holster. Again, you can undo the top like that, same as the TA30C holster, and you can actually maneuver it so the light can face any way you want on your belt. So right now that's facing at a 90-degree angle, but you can turn it down, you can turn it up, all the way around. Very, very cool in that it can go 360 degrees. And this bit here, you just pull it off, lift it up. You can adjust what size your belt is just by squeezing these two bits in here and moving it. And then once you've found your belt size, put it down, lock it in, and you're good to go. So it is, when they say it's a quick draw, it really is a quick draw, because if this is on your belt here, you literally just hit it, pull it out, you've got it. And then if you need to put it back in, just slip it back in. You can kind of lock it in. If you close that kind of locks it in. So if you're going for a run, not an exercise run, but if you're needing to run in a tactical situation, that's not going to fall out. Whereas if you undo that clip there, now you're ready just to pull it out and go. So really, really cool holster here, guys. And another thing about it is you can tighten or loosen the tension of the locking mechanism here. So you can make it harder to pull out. You can make it easier to pull out just by kind of twisting that there, putting a coin or a knife or something in it and just twisting, or even your fingernail, and adjusting that. So very, very useful holster. I wouldn't use it, but then again, I'm not a tactical, I don't work in a tactical field. But anyone who does, I'd love to hear if this holster would be helpful for you or not. So guys, definitely a fan of Nextorch. If I had to choose between this and the TA30C, I would go the TA30C. But as far as the amount of lumens this puts out, I love the high lumens. I also love the tail clicky protectors and the fact that it can tail stand. Love the glass breaking beads. So it is just a personal preference on whether or not this light is going to be too big and bulky for you in a tactical situation. But as far as the UI goes and as far as the tail setup, tail cap setup, very, very brilliant. Massive fan of this tail cap setup. If you do want to buy this torch, guys, head over to nextorch.com and you will be able to find all of your Nextorch accessories and Nextorch tactical lights as well. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope this was an informative video for you. If you liked it, please hit subscribe and please like. And I will see you next time on another episode of Flashlight Crazy. Stay cool and stay safe. See ya.